And welcome everybody to WAFFLEBOARD Breaks. How's everybody doing? Pretty good crowd for a Tuesday nights. Just a reminder, of course, Tuesday and Wednesday this week instead of Tuesday and Thursday. So I'll see you guys back here tomorrow night when we're done. Just as the stretch run, we got two this week, today and tomorrow. And then, of course, the last double box before the reload on Sunday, and then the two boxes next week, Tuesday and Thursday, just like normal. So we're getting there, including tonight's. We have 5 jerseys to go before the reload. We're, like I said, we're at we're getting down to the nitty gritty. 28 boxes. I got 20 on the table, 8 on the shelves. Getting there. Still have 13 from the last reload. We've only hit 3 of the reload jerseys so far. So of the 28 boxes, 13 are relatively new. So thank you everybody for the fill. A couple of little spots at the end. You guys grabbed those and we are filled up. Like I said, pretty good crowd. We got, I think, 13 different people, which was, pretty obviously we're missing our Sunday guys and a couple other people not in, but a lot of you guys got a decent amount of, there's a half dozen one spotters, a bunch of you guys grabbed at least 2 or more. Not a lot to go around, only 28 boxes. So the odds are ever increasingly in your favor as we get towards the reload. 28 boxes is pretty darn good odds for pick your player spots, any kind of breaks that I've seen anywhere, especially recently. I haven't seen anything. But like I said, pick your player, 28 boxes, that's about as good odds as you're going to find, knowing all these. Every single one of these jerseys are here in these boxes, so there's no hanky panky, no bait and switch. All 28 boxes are represented by the 28 spots that you guys claim. So we'll see what comes out. We managed to hit one of our oldest boxes. That was box 3. That was one of the 2 boxes from 2024. Now we have 60 is the only box left from 2024. 3 had been skipped. The last reload ran all the way to 11, which box 11 went, I think, last Sunday rather. So we're getting there. The new reload will be probably 16 jerseys. It'll be, I think, boxes 12 through, I think, 28 or something. So we don't skip again until the following because we have 30 still up there. We'll see. Like I said, it's we have about a half dozen in house. I think a little more than 8 maybe. So I'm about halfway to having everything in house for the reload. Sunday, I'm going to give you guys a couple freebies. So make sure you guys get your bids in for Sunday. We'll be down to 36 boxes on Sunday. So 36 spots. So your odds of getting a freebie will be 1 in 36, depending if you only have 1 spot. But 2 freebies. One will be a custom. One will be a pretty cool custom. And then obviously I have a licensed jersey, but I think it might be one of the Chinese ones from when Reebok had them. It's pretty cool. So we'll see that. Like I said, at least they're both COAs and the autographed jerseys. No matter what, if it's free, it's cool. So I'll give you some freebies. Every spot will be eligible to hit the freebies. So even if you hit the first one, you can hit the second one, and that happens, I think, 1 or 2 times, at least once. So so get your bids in. The more bids you have, the more chances you have at the freebies. Of course, you're trying to hit your main jersey. Hope everybody enjoyed the game last night. It was a butt whooping Monday rather. Yeah, so it's last night. So it's first 2 games were absolutely fantastic, as close as hockey can get. The second game going to double overtime, but then the third game, Florida got onto their home ice, and it was pretty much smacking them in the face. And they did everything possible. I mean, they're a Stanley Cup champion, defending Stanley Cup champion for a reason, and that's exactly the way they can play when they're at their best. They got power play goals, which Edmonton, unfortunately, they paraded to the box early, and then Florida gets to kind of play their game. Obviously, that Marchand and the Finns line is as good a line as there is right now in the playoffs. It's not their top line, but it's an unbelievably contributing line. Obviously, Marchand hit the last goal in game 2, and he had the first goal in game 3. So this Panthers team is is poised and ready to repeat. Obviously, there are 2 wins away. Edmonton needs to get 3 for them to take their cup. It's gonna be tough. Like I said, I mean, you got to win. They got to win 3 out of 4, basically from here on out. Which is, I mean, that's how you think about it. You still got to get the next win, which is also important. But of course, Edmonton came back from 3-0 last year to losing 7, so we know they can win 3 in a row. But you don't want to lose. You don't want to lose another one and put Florida on the brink. I mean, obviously, Edmonton would like to win, take it back to Edmonton. I believe it goes back to Edmonton for game 5. I don't think they're doing 2-3-2. I think it's 2-2-1-1-1. I believe. I'm not sure. I look at the schedule, but I can't remember exactly how it's going to roll. But like I said, obviously Edmonton has to bring everything they got for game 4. I don't know if they're going to stick with Skinner or if they're going to go to Pickard. Pickard didn't look terrible, but I mean, obviously, he's a little rusty. I mean, he gave up 1 goal on the power play late. It wasn't the top power play lines. Rodriguez was out there, but we'll see. I mean, if Florida's going to be clicking on all cylinders, they definitely you don't want to get in their way because they are playing. I mean, when you have the 2 best players on the planet, I mean, you're never out of it. But they gotta tighten it up. They gotta stay out of the box, and they can't just. I mean, you can't get into the shoving board in fisticuff matchup with this Florida team because they got snarl, and obviously they're showing that they're skilled, and when they got snarl, I mean, even like the guy they brought in, Marchand, has got snarl. I mean, Seth Jones has got a little snarl to him. Like he's not like an overly a dominant physical defensive, but he's a big guy. He's always had decent wheels, and now he's getting the taste of a cup. That's enough to light the fire under some people. Where if they've never been there before and they're surrounded by championship athletes, it goes a long way to making your game better. Internally, and then obviously you got to do it on the ice. But he's definitely showing that he has. He's able to play in big minutes for this team. So we'll see how it goes. Like I said, we're going to see what happens in game 4. Like I said, I mean, I'd love to see Edmonton square it back up and make it a 3-game series. But like I said, if Florida wins, game 4, Edmonton's not out of it. But I mean, you might as well start, planning your parade routes because this Florida team is they feel blood in the water. I mean, they just feasted in game 3. I mean, I would like the season to go as long as we can. Doesn't need to go 7, but at the same time, any more hockey is good hockey no matter what. But we'll see. Edmonton definitely has to pick themselves up off the canvas. If McDavid and Draisaitl want to cement their legacies, I mean, they're definitely on the course to being future Hall of Famers. I don't know who else in that team. I mean, maybe Perry. I'm not sure who else they have, Hall of Fame futures on that team. Maybe Bouchard if he continues piling up numbers. But like I said, they're not a team that to me is chock full of future Hall of Famers top to bottom. But they are talented, so we'll see if they're able to get their act together and get ready for game 4 because it's good for everybody if they can get off the mat and tie it up because. I mean, you definitely want to see, McDavid and Draisaitl, at least get, deep into the series. Obviously, Canada is really hard for Edmonton. Obviously, for McDavid as their son. He's there. I mean, even the eastern part of the country has to respect and root for McDavid to win. And obviously, Edmonton would be the first time they won a cup in many moons, as well as any team from Canada. So we'll see how it goes. Like I said, I'm not counting them out yet, but they definitely got to bring in a game 4. Even if they lose close in game 4, push to the brink, we know that they have the ability to get back into it. But you lose that game 2, that one really hurt. I mean, you definitely wanted to win that game in overtime on home ice. Yes, they wouldn't have felt as bad for Edmonton if they're able to do that, but Florida's a champion for a reason. So we'll see if they can, close it out, which is possible. Bob is a future Hall of Famer. Obviously, they have, I'm not sure how many other players on Florida is locks for being future Hall of Famers, but they have top draft pedigree, and they've turned into solid NHL players from Bennett to Reinhart to Ekblad to Barkov. I'm not sure if any of them are future Hall of Famers, but they are all going to be Stanley Cup champions again if they're able to close this one out. So we'll see. Like I said, I wouldn't begrudge Florida if they won again. The state of Florida has been dominant as far as Stanley Cups go in the last almost half dozen years now. So actually half dozen. This will be the fourth cup for the state of Florida in 6 years, which is pretty absurd when you think about it. When you think they didn't have a single hockey team not too long ago, and now they have 4 of this last 6 cups, and Canada will be quite beside themselves. Obviously, they put their chips behind Toronto too often because that's who they want to see win. Montreal's won cups since Toronto's won. Obviously, obviously Edmonton's won cups, Calgary's won cups. Get the cat out of there. So, but they said they keep trying to hitch their wagons to Toronto, and Winnipeg's been closer. They've been a better team. Obviously not in the playoffs for the last couple of years, but Winnipeg's had a better record. Ottawa's still taking baby steps. If it'd be funny to see start going deeper regularly than Toronto with the amount of money that they invest in their top talent. So, but like I said, I'm not averse to seeing Canada get another cup, but you're looking at who's going to win it. I mean, Calgary's still kind of spinning their wheels right now, see if they can get back to winning cups. Edmonton's been there the last couple of years. Winnipeg can't get out of their own way. Hellebuck, I saw it was leaked. He's probably going to be the Vezina and Hart Trophy winner. So I'm not sure if he's going to be able to be there live. So they were doing a photo shoot. It looks like there was something leaked where he was at his property. He has like a lakefront property. That's where he lives. And the background was clearly his home, and he had both trophies, and they were doing photo shoots. So it looks like it was leaked that he's going to be the Vezina and the Hart Trophy winner, it makes sense. Obviously, you got him going against Cooch, and we know there's a bit of an anti-Russia bias, which is more than been proven out. And then Draisaitl, those are the other 3 finalists. And of course, Hellebuck was an absolute monster season with wins, shutouts, games played, and having no goalies won the Hart since Carey Price. So, and this will be his 3rd Vezina. So you're looking at Hall of Fame career for Hellebuck. I mean, he's not done, so he's just going to continue. And the last 3 goalies to have 3 Vezina Trophy wins or more in their cases are the big 3: Hasek, Brodeur, and Patrick Roy. So he'd be joining that elite company. Obviously, that since 1980, those are the only 3 goalies to have won 3 Vezina trophies. So that's pretty high company. I think before that, you're talking Dryden and Tony Esposito, early 70s, and you're going back to when there was only a dozen teams in the league. But yeah, in the modern generation, since 1980, since Gretzky set foot on the ice in the league, that's 45 years. Just Hasek numerous times, and Roy and Brodeur, they're the only 3 goalies that have three Vezinas. So that's going to be a huge mark for him if he's trying to make the Hall of Fame, even though he's had pretty limited playoff experience and success. So we'll see if he's able to hopefully, he represents, if he's the goalie for U.S. in the Olympics next year, him or Ottinger. If he was great in the 4 Nations. We'll see if Hellebuck can continue to build his resume as a Hall of Famer, which I think he's probably there, but we'll see if he continues down that path. But like I said, it's like I said, Hellebuck got hit out of the boxes recently. So obviously last on Tuesday. So you're not going to see him in this reload. He'll probably might come back in the following reload, but Hellebuck was not counted down as one of the hits for this coming reload. So, we'll have a month or so before you'll see him back in again. Obviously, Hellebuck is probably the best American goaltender in the league right now. Odger is in the discussion, but Hellebuck has been doing it for a little longer. There's two Vezinas, so I mean, there's he's going to be probably representing us. I'm not sure what the decision will be. We'll see as he get closer to the Olympics, but yeah, he's future Hall of Famer, and like I said, he won't be in for this coming reload, but probably the next reload. So, like I said, that was the last one. That was one of the two oldest boxes. So there we go. Just the 8 boxes on the shelf, 20 on the table. So you said every spot is claimed tonight. Got nothing hanging around. I know some of you guys are here live. A lot of you guys are watching it on delay. No games tonight, so I'm not going to wait around too long. We're just going to get to the box, and see who the winner of tonight is. So it's 1 in 28 odds. And just tomorrow night, we're doing it again. So I will throw up the spot price preview back up after taking off whoever hits, and you guys will be ready to do it again tomorrow night. So just a reminder, anybody that's watching it without sound, tomorrow night as well. So, and then we have a couple days before you get ready for Sunday. But I do have freebies, so get ready for Sunday. You double box break on eBay. I will have some freebies for you guys. So just as a thank you from me to you guys for supporting WAFFLEBOARD breaks. Now we're almost getting to 2 years, but like I said, 457 boxes tonight. We've done 478 jerseys just out of my boxes, plus all the third-party stuff, which I'm still haven't decided on what I'm going to get. Obviously, we're getting into the off season, so not as rampant hockey love during the off season. But if we're still able to do my boxes, I don't mind doing that. So with 16 new coming, I'll be getting ready with the collages. I expect to receive majority of them probably by this weekend. And I'll be able to get the collages up for you guys, which is always fun as I get ready for the reload. So let's get rolling then. Let's see. Got my list here. Like I said, I think 13 different people have spots tonight, which is a pretty good crowd. I think let me see. We had CK and Ron were our last two winners. CK's the winner on records. If he wants to go back to back, he's got to hit tonight. So let's get my randoms going. Let's get this going without further delay. Ooh, where's my list? Okay, let me see. And then we get into the draft. Once we get past another week of breaks, we'll be getting right into the draft discussion. So obviously we have some of with the Islanders winning the first pick, which is almost set in stone. We're looking forward to seeing how the rest of the top 10 goes. So okay, let me see. Let's get going. Okay, here we go. As you guys know, 5 or more, of course, on the die roll. Here's our boxes: 60, 30, 38, 53, 57, the last of their runs. Then 3 from the next run, and then 7 and 13. That's the populations of the runs. So here we go. 13 different owners, 28 boxes. Let's see what we got tonight. Good luck, everybody. Let's see what we got. 5 or more in our dice roll. 5 or more in the dice roll. And it is 7. The most common dice roll. 7 it is. So good luck, everybody. Let's see what we got. Remember, get ready for tomorrow. We'll be down to 27 boxes. There it is. 28 boxes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the box we're going to open tonight, 1 in 28 odds, is box number 94. 94, I believe, is reload. 94 it is. 28 boxes, 7 times. 94 at the top. Okay. Let me make my notes. Box 94 is. Okay. Box 94. Box 94. Box 94 is. It is in the reloads. Here we go. Let's see. We got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, a lot of people still live. Box 94. Let me actually back that out so it's not there for tomorrow. Okay. Back that. There it is. Okay, anybody here live? Anybody here with me? Box 94. Okay. Box 94. Have to make any changes. There we go. 19 on the table, 8 on the shelves. There it is. Thomas M. What's up, Thomas? Thomas is on fire. One of our couple that's actually on fire. CK's starting to warm up. Ron's definitely had some hits. Thomas M has been absolutely in fuego. So box 94. Okay. Is that the... there we go. Box 94 it is. Let's see what we got. Thomas M. Ooh, Thomas M has spots in this run. Good luck, everybody. Box 94 it is. Can't wait to see. Like I said, we've got 13 reload boxes. This is now down to 12. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so 97 up. Obviously, I'll say the 10 is the most recent reload, so that makes it easy to see. So here we go. Good luck, everybody. Reminder, tomorrow night, 27 boxes. I'll get the spot price preview up when I'm done tonight. But here it is. Easy teasy, Trevor Zegras. Unbelievable. That's a beaut. Trevor Zegras. This is a Fanatics, but it's the reverse retro. There it is. Easy teasy, Trevor Zegras. Anaheim Mighty Ducks. This is a beaut. Couldn't wait for this to hit. Such an unbelievable pretty jersey. There it is. Trevor Zegras. Fanatics COA. Easy teasy on the paint pen. And there it is. There's our Anaheim Ducks. The old school Mighty Ducks logo. Very, very nice on the white. You don't see the white all that time. With the, obviously, the reverse retro colors. Very, very nice. Trevor Zegras. Here we go. Good young stars for the Anaheim Ducks. Trevor Zegras. There we go. Big time. Over 25. I don't think you've got over 25. Very, very nice. Congratulations. Sorry for everybody that did not hit. That goes to, oh, there it is. The man is on fire too. CK, back-to-back hits. He is the man for record for back-to-back hits. See if he can continue it on Thursday with the turkey. He was the last box on Sunday, and he's the first box on Tuesday. Congratulations, CK. Easy teasy. Trevor Zegras coming to you. Big, big hit. Thank you very much. Congratulations to CK. Sorry for everybody that did not hit. He's a dud. He's, like I said, he's one of the good young players. Obviously, I mean, they got guys like McTavish, obviously Zegras. You know, they're kind of building their team back up. You know, they're not quite at that point yet, but we'll see. We'll see if he can actually, you know, turn into a, you know, top scorer for that team. But we shall see. I mean, Troy Terry's there. So I mean, like you said, you got to kind of, whichever you're a fan of. I mean, obviously they moved on from Drysdale, and they brought in Gautier. So I mean, they do have they got a kind of good young core. They're kind of building, obviously, with Carlson, Leo Carlson. So it'd be interesting to see if that team kind of shakes out. Who takes the reins and runs with it as a scoring leader and as a team leader. Because like I said, Anaheim has they've won the cup, so they definitely know what it feels like. Back when they could build a super team with the money without the cap, but building a team with young players. I mean, that they've kind of doing it, the way that they did back when they had Korea when they drafted him. So I mean, it'd be interesting to see. Like I said, I'm not giving up hope. That they can't build a Stanley Cup contender, but they, like I said, they got to start with young players. Have to start panning out. Leo Carlson looks fantastic. Obviously, Easy T's been up and down. He came out the box pretty hot, slowed up. Troy Terry's become kind of a reliable kind of veteran guy, even though he's a young player. I mean, it'd be interesting to say. Like I said, I think they're definitely a team on the come. They're not quite in the they're nowhere near being the caliber of Dallas or Edmonton or even Colorado. I mean, they're not on that level yet. Vegas, but I mean, obviously, if they can compete right now with the Sharks, and Calgary's probably better than them. The Kings are more veteran laden, but Anaheim has work to do. Obviously, they be nice to see if they can get back into the upper echelon of playoff caliber teams. But like I said, you got good young players. The reverse retros are pretty cool. Obviously, so the Fanatics reverse retro. Don't see a ton of the Fanatics ones. So that's really nice. Easy teasy. Trevor Zegras. So congratulations on CK. Sorry for everybody else, but of course our odds are now even better. So I will see you guys back here tomorrow nights, Wednesday night for 27 boxes. So good luck. Make sure you get your bids in on Sunday. We will have giveaways on Sunday. So thank you very much. WAFFLEBOARD Breaks is out till tomorrow. Talk to you Wednesday night, guys. Talk to you later. Take care.